When we're talking about the spiritual path, we're talking about a tool which is able to remove our conditioning, a tool which is able to lead us to a state of inner freedom, of inner independence, if I can use this word, if it is correct in English, in the sense that can help us to peel off our mind. Very simple. Because there all the experiences, ideas are recorded. And there the mind is actually what is keeping us asleep. And when we mean asleep, actually, it means to perceive reality through a certain filter. Like when you have glasses, you have blue glasses, you see everything blue around you. If you remove them, you see them clearly. So eventually, a real, legit, and well taken spiritual path should be a tool to remove the glasses, to remove your mind. Because usually in our daily life, it depends where we are in our discovery stage. We constantly hear to that voice and we label things out, and we live in time even thinking about future, past, when in reality all that there is that particular moment. If we are able to see it fresh, to keep it fresh, to be fresh with it, our perception of life will change completely, together with our limiting beliefs that keep us usually in a very miserable state of sorrow, that they don't allow us to evolve, to express our potential. And this is one of the reasons why many people start a spiritual path, sometimes even myself back in the days, because I felt that I felt this need of progress, expand, but something was in the way. Actually, was me. It was my mind, my history, beliefs, surroundings, but nothing to blame actually outside. It was just that all these experiences were recorded in my mind, and I thought to be my mind, because that's the only thing that we believe is real eventually. But that is the real problem. It is actually the filter, the lens that we're wearing all the time, which is not able to have a beautiful, grateful, full life. It doesn't mean to have many things or achieve many things. Actually, it's the opposite. It's an inner sense of contentment, which is underlying everything that we do, the way we move around in life. And it's going to become the most important thing in our life. So the rest will be just a playful thing, temporary playful thing. So when we start to get involved into a spiritual path, we must understand that we are trying to use a tool, legit tool, like many paths. There are no paths that are better than the other ones. There are many because there are many human beings with different sensitivity. There are many because there are many cultures with different colors, with different creativity, imagination, deities, art form, that correspond to the particular environment of people, inspired probably by the natural environment, inspired by the weather, inspired by the colors they have around. So we have to be careful and understand that it's a relative tool that we're using. It's just an explanation, like will be another one that works, hopefully, which has the goal of helping us to peel everything off. At some point, even that explanation. To direct experiencing life without the filter, without our mind, without this sense of me, which is the cause of all problems and suffering in life. Even when you see mean people around you, you just see the conflict that they're having inside of themselves manifested outside. In fact, everybody, when you get everybody on their best day, they are wonderful people. They're not bad people, really. It's just that Depends how you get them. When they have a good day, they're very nice people. When they have a bad moment, oof, very tough. It can be a relative, it can be a friend, it can be a neighbor, it can be a stranger. Same concept apply. Unfortunately, in society, we are not told who we are, our mechanism, the way we are made of. We are educated in a very misleading way. And then the whole story begins. There could be another topic that we could touch on a different moment. But what I want to try to say today about this kind of discussion, this video that I'm making, if your goal is to be free, use anything that you have and be fully open to it. Practice a tool, whatever it is, but with a certain what would be the best way? With a certain awareness that it's just a temporary thing that you're going to be using. And hopefully, if it is real, you don't get too much entangled with it, you will not need it anymore. It could be useful for another person who maybe has the same kind of sensitivity, cultural background, so it makes sense for them, so they can use it. But for you, it's gone. It's embedded in you, because at some point, what I see sometimes is very genuine people who are very keen to develop, to grow spiritually, to find something higher than this kind, this very low, this very nonsense that we see all around in the way that we behave as human beings, when we don't direct ourselves towards an higher purpose. If we don't change that behavior, although we may be engaged in some kind of spiritual practice, we become like kids. We get involved with the spiritual practice, we like all the little stuff, the histories, the stories, the mystical elements, but we still misbehave in life in the same way, pretty much the same way. Even worse, sometimes we want to think that we wear some kind of spiritual suit that make us better than our neighbors. Maybe they're involved into another kind of business. Okay. So it is very important that we look at ourselves 360 degrees, and that we develop a certain conduct that has to reflect in our life completely. Because without a certain conducts, the doors to an higher perception, direct experience of life, which you might call it divine, you might call it the base of reality that is always there, whatever you want to call it, without a certain moral behavior which will not be guided by some kind of social standard, will be the common sense as human being that we will do, basically. Without this kind of simple foundations, the spiritual process, it could be actually a trap sometimes. A trap for two reasons. First, because we didn't understand what I mentioned before. It's a temporary tool that is helping us to dig deeper and to remove all the ideas, including the tools, at some point. And second, if we don't have the right conduct in life, although we might practice something very, very good, something very powerful, like qigong practices, but look around, see all these masters, these teachers, the way they behave. I'm not saying I'm better, okay? Very powerful tool that actually is able to even demonstrate some external achievements in terms of chi mastery. Without the proper contact, even a person who can do a qigong might not know the beauty of the subtle, ever-present aspect of life. So my suggestion is to approach this spiritual matter. If somebody would have said to me this thing in the very beginning, I don't know how many years I would have spared of my life. I would have been more natural the way I am. Instead of trying to become something, a spiritual stereotype, a qigong teacher, a Buddhist, and this, a shamanic, and this and that. I would have been just me. And thanks, I have to be honest, to the qigong practice, which allow us to grow vital energy, the qigong practice, which allows to grow vital energy to a very high degree, to be able to unlock, to live something which I thought was not possible before, and which eventually turns you in a very religious man. Not religious in terms of religion, in terms of dogmatic approach, explanations, way of being and everything. An inner sense which will be an inner outer at the end of the day, which will be the most important thing of your life, which will give a different meaning, which will allow actually you to flourish in your natural place, in your natural position in life, because not everybody needs to be in one place. Some people are meant to do something, other people are meant to do something else. No difference. You can be a great master or a great carpenter, or just, if you are in your place, you are great in what you are. So use these tools in a very wise way, whether you're doing a qigong, so you're one of my students watching this video. Don't get too much involved with the tool itself, with the romanticism, with the intellectual aspect itself. Develop a good conduct, and just practice and observe constantly, objectively, with all your attention, with no ideas, yourself and everything around you, with the same kind of value, and you will see that something might start to change. And when you touch that, when you recognize that, life takes a different meaning.